Hi. Assignment for you. Every time we start our class, remind me to record our class, okay? Because I might forget. So now I remembered. So let me just hear from some of you. If I unmute you or ask you to unmute yourself, it means I'm asking you to answer my question. All right? Which would you prefer, or which would you find easier? Doing your speech like this, or speaking in front of real people? Of course, we're real people, right? But speaking in front of, what's the term? Well, you know what I'm talking about, right? Speaking in front of a live audience. So, I want to hear from Hannah. Hi, Hannah, because I don't know you yet.
Hello po.
Hi.
Hello po.
So, what do you think will be easier for you? Doing your speeches in this way with
I think,
being
ma'am,
videoed, or
it's the same po. For me po,
okay?
it's just the same po.
Why? Why would you say it's the same?
Requires you to prepare because it's an audience pa rin po. Same.
Yeah, definitely the preparation should be the same regardless of who your audience or in what venue you will deliver your speech, no? How about, thank you, Hannah. Vince, what do you
Ma'am,
think?
I don't know. Maybe it's I'm shy with people
Okay.
or without people. So, but I guess it's more scary if it's in video because there's a barrier between you and the person you're talking to or the audience you're addressing to,
Okay.
and also yeah, and also um, you can you cannot see all their reactions,
Uh-huh.
their facial reactions and their gestures. And you cannot freely move
Okay.
or show your gestures, facial reactions, and hand signs. Yeah, so I guess it's a lot harder
Okay.
than. Thank
Yeah,
you.
those are, thank you, Vince. Those are good points, no? You may get more conscious, self-conscious, um, because you know you should not veer away from the camera, right? Even if you want to pace back and forth, you can't do that unless you have someone, you hire a, what do you call that? Not a photographer, right? A videographer who will follow you around as you pace. No? Um, so yeah, some additional thing to consider. And then for some people, it might be actually scarier if they see the facial expressions of their audience. But from your point of view, it is scarier because you cannot see the reaction of your audience. Yeah, no, for some, like, you wonder, I'm talking and I don't know if they're listening. No? Who else? One more. Jared.
Yes, well, I think that it's almost the same, but at the same time, if we present here,
Mm-hmm.
it will be a lot easier for some of us. For some of us,
Because?
maybe because you're not standing in front of the class or
Mm-hmm.
the people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you still have to stand up,
Yeah.
like literally stand up when you deliver your speeches, right? Yes, yes. So some get, what's the term? Not camera shy. Well, so that's one I don't know, one thing that there may be some who are camera shy. So when they get in front of the camera, they freeze and they can't speak. And then some have stage fright, where they go on stage and they freeze. Okay, so we don't know which one of you has stage fright or is camera shy. Oh, which reminds me, Vince started, when he spoke, no, he started by saying, I'm naturally shy. Well, you have to throw away your shyness for this class, just this class only, okay? Because that's one of the things that you really have to do, no? Especially when we get to storytelling. You have there is this phrase that I will keep reminding you of. You have to be consumed with the story. Okay? What does that mean? You really have to feel the story and be excited about the story, or be super sad if you're telling a sad story. But that being consumed with your speech is also true even for the formal speeches. But you're more reserved, right? It's a formal speech, not a lot of feelings involved. But it still does not mean that if you're delivering your formal speeches, you're rigid and you're just not moving and la 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 like a robot. No? You still have to deliver your speeches with the appropriate gestures, with the appropriate passion. Yeah. All right. What else? Okay. So, grade breakdown. Oh, sorry. So you have to reach 700 points for part 1. The journal will be graded, or will be included in your final grade at the end. So it's not just for part 1, but also for part 2. But as you can see, different speeches have different weights, different points, based on how easy the speeches are. The big biggies are your informative speech and your persuasive speech. Okay, those are the ones that will take, I think, between 5 minutes to 8 minutes. And those are the ones that actually will need you to do research. Okay. For your speeches, these are the criteria that will be used. The percentage of the criteria will be different depending on the type of speech. Normally, it's like this, 30, 20, dada. But the distribution of the percentages will differ slightly depending on, as I said, on the type of speech that you will deliver. So, content. This will include also, or for me, what I will look for specifically for content would be the appropriateness of your topic, and did it actually follow the instructions or the guidelines given. Persuasiveness, we'll talk more about that after our break. Definitely audience interest. Yeah. So while you are delivering your speech, I will also try to look at the expressions of your audience and see how much they are into or how interested they are with what you're saying. So start making friends with your classmates. Kidding. All right, poise. So how well you stand up. This is the thing that we will not actually have too much of, no? Eye contact. How do you maintain eye contact? You don't even, you can't even see sometimes the eyes of your of your audience, no? But how do you do this in this setting? What will make if I do this all the time, I'm delivering my speech, obviously I'm not maintaining eye contact, right? I'm not even trying to look at the screen. Yeah. Composure and natural gestures will be part of this criteria. Volume, again, in this type of setting, we can actually cheat. Or can we? No, we can't. Because the volume control is with the audience, no? So the audience, if they can't hear you too much, they can just raise the volume of their speaker. So that will be a challenge for me to grade, because if I'm grading you and I can't hear you, I will raise my volume and I hopefully should be able to hear you clearly. But I guess if I have to do that, then that means your volume was not sufficient. I don't know. This is kind of the new, no? So it will be a challenge in terms of volume. Vocal variety in your speed, variety in your loudness, no? And even in the pauses. Because hopefully, in this class, you'll also be able to learn that pauses, where to put it, how long you pause, no? Can be a good tool to show emphasis, no? Or to change the mood of your speech. Okay, and then as I mentioned, terms of length, this is not part of the overall the speech grade, but you will get deductions if it's too short, your speech is too short or too long. So I will be timing you when you deliver your speech. Okay, so far. Nod, just nod, or if you want to do the thumbs up, you may do so. I'm not seeing any raised hands, so, and let me just check the chat. No one has chatted yet. Okay. Right. Okay. Important policies that we will follow, no? You have to make sure, obviously, that every Friday you're present. Because every Friday, as I told you, no, is speech day. If for some reason you know beforehand that you cannot attend our speech class on Friday, then you have to tell your teacher. Send an email, or send an email to me, or use our Google Classroom to let me know. If you don't tell me beforehand and you're just absent. So you missed delivering your speech for that day, right? Then you're automatically going to get an F for that speech, but you still have to deliver the speech. Okay? So if you're too scared, oh, I don't know how to do this, I'll just, it's okay, I'll just bear with an F for this speech. No, there's no escape because you still have to do your speech. And you get an F. Yeah? As much as possible, use English when you deliver your speeches. It's okay if sometimes you lapse into Tagalog. But not too much. Okay? But if you really feel that there are certain parts of your speech that you can deliver better in Tagalog, then that's fine. Okay? Just not the whole speech. As I said, you will, okay? Okay. For in terms of how to contact me outside of class, I have a messenger account. I don't have an FB. My messenger account is just in my phone. Okay? And I'll write it for the benefit of the whole class. Just bear with my oops. How do I clear this? Alright. Alright. So, well, you just it's correcting my C. So that's a scene. Okay. That's my messenger account. And for you to know that you got the right account, it's the one with the picture of a cat, the eyes of a cat on the floor. And then you can add me as your, just chat. Or you can email me. I created a new email account just for our Google Classroom. Okay. So those are the ways that you can reach me outside of class. If you want to text me, the old BJ number, it's actually my personal number. Okay. Oh, I could have written that in our chat box, no? Hi. Never mind. All right. Next. What were we? All right. So, as I was saying, you need to submit outlines for most of your speeches, except for the scripture reading and the poetic interpretation. How do you submit your outlines? You submit your outlines through our Google Classroom. I will be assigning you giving you an assignment called the type of speech outline. And you just have to fill up this form. Yeah. I'll remove poetic interpretation from the choices. There. Just short. And then you just submit it. When do you submit it? The day of your speech. Before class. Before our class. Yeah. So once you're in Google Classroom, and once I've published or assigned this assignment, then you'll receive it you'll see it in your Google Classroom. Okay. And in your outlines at the bottom, you just write how many times you practiced for that particular speech. Okay. Just be honest. Minimum number of practices before you render your speech is 2. Okay. Of course, there's no maximum. If you practice less than 2 times, then that will be another deductible, or that's another deduction to your overall speech grade. Let me clarify that. To the grade for that particular speech, not your grade for the class. Okay? So if, for example, I give you a perfect score, 130 over 130, you deliver your speech perfectly because you're a natural born orator. But you tell me in your outline you did not practice at all. Yes, I'll be impressed, but you'll still get a deduction. Okay? Because it's not a good practice to not practice. Right? It's still advisable, even if you're a natural orator, you're very confident and you can just speak for hours, and people will still be interested and flock to you while you're speaking. You still have to practice. Okay? Yes? Nod your heads. I'm looking at your videos. Thank you. So really, for this class, we really have to, all students really have to be able to show themselves on video, and they have to be able to speak. So if there are technical difficulties, maybe this is not the right time for you to attend this class. No? But so far, I'm seeing all of you sharing your videos, so you have the capability to do that, no? And hopefully you have good microphones in your phones or your computers. Right. Final policy: no memorized speech. Yeah. You are allowed to bring notes. Well, bring notes. I was going to say you're allowed to bring notes to the front of the class. You are allowed to use notes while you are delivering your speech. But of course, the effectiveness of your speech will be less. Especially if you just right? Just reading through your speech. That's not going to be effective. So I will under poise. That's where I will deduct points from you if you use notes too much. Another special special circumstance, no, special thing with our setting right now, no, I wouldn't know if you have your speeches posted on in front of you, right? Maybe like you have a big Manila paper, you wrote down your speech, you posted it on your wall. So I wouldn't know that. But you shouldn't do that. Yeah. This is speech. This is public speaking. And hopefully at the end of this class, no, you would have developed more confidence in public speaking. Right? Yes? Nod your heads. Our cry director would always do that. Nod your heads. Okay. So, since this is a 2-hour class, let me just stop sharing for now. We will take a break in the middle, no? Or somewhere around this time. It's 4:53 in my computer. So let's take 6-minute break and restart at 5. You don't have you don't have to. You do not leave the meeting. No, in terms of like don't disconnect from Zoom. But if you want, you can turn off your videos, and then at 5 o'clock, you come back, sit down, make yourselves presentable again, and then turn on your videos. Yeah? So I'll see you again at 5 p.m. On my watch, it's 4:54. Okay? Thank you. See ya in a bit. Right. Welcome back, everybody. As I wrote in our chat box, this is, I think, the standard that we will be doing for most of the classes and for chapel, no? Especially, this is especially helpful for the big classes and for chapel, because we can, our chat box also gets saved aside from the video, and I am still recording, right? Okay. So this is our way of knowing who were present for the class without going back and looking at the recording and looking at who's there or not, right? So make sure that you type your name, last name, comma, first name, and then in parentheses, present. Okay. So, oh, before we get right on to our lecture part, no? I just wanted to warn you guys that sometimes I may be distracted because I have two cats. And one cat is very naughty. So she would a lot of times pester the other cat. And the other cat, her name is Petey, short for Petunia. The other cat, Petunia, or Petey, is already old. No? In human years, I think she's been with us for 14 years already. So she has arthritis. Whenever she gets up from her bed, you would know that like she would walk on shaky legs, and she'd limp for a while before she can walk properly. But Janie is maybe what, 3-4 years in human years with us. She's been with us for 3-4 years. So she still wants to play. So she wants to chase Petey around. So sometimes I might just suddenly shout while we're in class. So forgive me if I do that, because I might have to scold my cat once in a while. Or you might hear scratching noises. So what else did I remember that I wanted to tell you? Yeah, sometimes Janie wants to block Petey's path. So when Petey goes to the bathroom, Janie would stand by the door so Petey can't go out. And she would meow and meow and meow until I go up and remove Janie out of the way before she can get out. So sometimes that might happen. Hopefully not too often. So forgive me if that happens. When you're delivering your speech and that happens, I promise you I will not leave. And I will let you stop. I will let you finish your speech before I come and get PT. All right? Okay. Now, on to our lecture for today. Right. Can you still see the syllabus on your screens? Yes, nod your heads if you can. The whole thing, it's not cut. You still see the whole thing? Yeah. And if you have access to the Google Classroom already, you can also take a look at your syllabus. And after 2 weeks, once all classes have settled down and we've figured out who's really gonna stay in the class or not, the printed copies of all your syllabus, your syllabi, will be mailed to you. So you will also get hard copies of your syllabi. Right? Okay. So, let's talk about, of course, speaking, right? How can you develop yourselves to be effective speakers? And we actually, sorry, I forgot to bring this up. Where is my... Okay. I know I have a PowerPoint of this somewhere. Okay. Before we look at that, the first few parts, I want all of you to memorize this bit. Okay, because really, if you this is very important, and it actually captures the essence of being an effective speaker, no? So I want to try something, but I know it's not gonna work. But everybody unmute yourselves. And then I want us to all read together this statement. I know we're not gonna all be in harmony because there may be delays and etc. But I want to wake you up also. So everybody, unmute yourselves. I never mind the background sounds that we might hear. Yeah. And then ready? 1, 2, begin.
The effective speaker realizes that the primary goal of speech is communication of ideas and feelings in order to get a desired response.
Okay, that's grammatically wrong. It should be desired. I don't know why I didn't catch that. Okay, now mute yourselves again. Yeah. So, in order to get a desired response, make sure you put that D in, huh? Especially when you get your hard copies. So there are several key words that I want us to remember out of this statement, no? First is communication. What does communication mean? Paul, because you're still unmuted, so.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
That's fine. That's fine.
The conveying of ideas.
Okay. But normally, how many? Like, think of how many things
Talking.
are involved?
How many things?
Things or people are involved when we have to have communication.
2 or more.
Yeah. So it's not just yourself, right?
Mhm.
It's a two-way thing, no? So when you want to have communication, there's the speaker, but there's also the speaker speaking. No, there's also the audience or the listener or the receiver. Yes. So when you speak, like Paul said, no, you're conveying something. You speak because you want to be heard. You speak because you want to impart something. And what are those things? Ideas, right? Information. Can be opinion. It can be facts, depending on the type of speech that you are delivering. Okay? Aside from opinions, ideas, facts, information, you will also be conveying feelings through your speaking, through your speech. No? You want to not only convey feelings, but you also, in some types of speech, you also want to invoke feelings from your audience. So it's always a two-way thing. And why? No? Why do you speak? Why do you convey ideas? Why do you want to convey feelings? The end goal, right? Primary goal, the end goal of speaking is to get a desired response. Yeah. For every type of speech, there will be different kinds of desired responses. Okay. For example, for the persuasive speech, persuasive announcement, persuasive speech, what will be the desired response? You want to be able to persuade someone, sway them from maybe thinking one thing to start thinking another thing, right? So when you prepare for your speeches, when you start thinking about the content of your speech, this is the thing that you have to remember. What is the desired response? What is my desired response for this type of speech? And then how do I communicate so that I will get my desired response? Yeah. What do I communicate? What facts should I include? What whose opinion? It doesn't have to be your own opinion, right? Whose opinion should I include? How should I speak? What gestures should I use? What should my face look like? What expressions, right, would be appropriate? What gestures would be appropriate for this type of speech? So that's why I said that, like, this statement, already just by thinking about this statement, it gives you a lot of things to think about and a lot of guidelines for you when you think about your speeches. Okay. We already mentioned, no, it most of your speeches, maybe the desired response is to inspire, no, to get people to take action. But sometimes a speech is not, that's not the point of the speech. Some speeches may be just to convey vital information, like the informative speech. The informative speech will be kind of like a how-to. How do you do this? How do you do that? Or you're defining something. So it's just really conveying information. Not necessarily for people to take action. And hopefully, no, this is what you will get from this class, that you will develop discipline in terms of, especially in your ministries, no, in your churches, when you're asked to speak, you will develop the right discipline so that you will be more effective as speakers, as storytellers, no, in your various ministries. Okay. Obviously, as Christians, no, when we try to fulfill the Great Commission, a very important factor would be for us to be effective speakers. Yeah. Even if we know that the message is the most important thing, right? And God's word will not come back to him in vain. But we still have the duty to develop our skills so that we will also be effective when we impart messages that are as important as the gospel, for example. Yeah. Okay, so the eight basic principles for effective speaking, and you have the source for that. Most of the material, not most, all of the material here in our syllabus are just compilation from various sources. So we would find several redundancies if you read through the whole material, the whole syllabus, and that's the reason for it. Is it's a compilation of various sources talking about speaking, being an effective speaker. Okay, so number one principle, the first principle for being an effective speaker: you should command respect. Do you agree? Why or why not? So let me call somebody who I haven't called yet. Abby. So do you agree that it is very, very important for the speaker to command respect?
Yes, I agree. Because as a speaker, you want a specific response from your audience. So you should deliver the speech properly to get the response that you want instead of being disrespected.
Right. So that's one way, because I was going to ask a follow-up question, which you already answered. Yes, you have to command respect as a speaker, because people will not believe you if they don't see that you can be respected, no, or if they don't see that you are a respectable person, they won't believe what you're saying, or they won't even listen to what you're saying, right? And Abby mentioned one way for you to command respect, yeah, is through how you deliver your speech. How can you command respect? Paul, What is one specific example or one specific way for you to deliver your speech that will make you respectable?
Who's Paul po?
Sorry. Yeah, Paul Dalilan.
Okay.
Sorry, Paul. Okay. I forgot we have
I
two.
think one way to command respect is to when you deliver your speech or your speech is you are well prepared and well known. You are really consumed what you are delivering with, so that they really know that you are tawag ito, worth listening for. Like that.
Okay. Yes. Huh? You prepare well because if you're not prepared, it shows. Yeah. Unless you're really like I said, no, you're a gifted speaker, and even if you're not prepared, you can just talk for hours. Not everybody is like that. Plus, even if you're a good speaker, no, and you can talk for hours, what's the content of what you're saying? No, maybe you're just saying the same thing over and over for 1-2 hours. You wasted people's time. Even if they are so interested, they listen to you for 2 hours. But what did they get out of it? No. So if you're well prepared, it will show in the way that you speak, and that will help command respect. No, that will help you get respect. Jonalyn, can you give me another way for you to command respect? To be respectable.
Siguro sa voice,
Okay.
talking, maybe kapag sobrang mataas yung speech mo,
Okay.
parang mayabang ka, nagiging barrier para hindi sila makinig sa'yo.
Yeah. No? That could be a yes, you are well known. Yes, you're famous. Thank you, Jonalyn. But you really show people, I know everything. Blah, 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 blah. And see, you have to do this because la 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 like that. No? Initially, maybe people will respect you, but if you clearly you don't have the right spirit, no, then you will lose people's respect. Another thing, before we move to the second point, no, another way is through your appearance. Even before you speak, no, how you compose, how you carry yourself in front of the people, the way that you dress, yeah, your confidence. In this environment, no, we won't see too much. We won't see the whole body of the speaker. And in my previous classes, a lot of times, my comments would be, you are fidgeting, or you're playing with the hem of your shirt. Yeah, because some people, they unknowingly actually have mannerisms, or they do something with their hands, which are not natural gestures when you speak. One example that I use is, like, for myself, I wasn't aware that actually when I stand in front and, for example, choir or there's a program and we're singing and we're not holding choir folder because it's supposed to be memorized. So our hands are just laying. I wasn't aware that my hands do this. So while I'm singing, it's not moving according to the tempo or whatever. I just do open and close, open and close. I didn't know that, but I found out when, like, I saw the video of the song and I saw all throughout my hand was doing this. Yeah. So knowing your mannerisms and correcting that will help you be a better speaker and will help you show a confident face. No, not confident face. Show confidence. Okay. And I was saying, no, your appearance, your dress for the ladies, you have to make sure like your hair is not all over the place. For the if you're wearing makeup and you're telling us a sad story and you have mascara, you have to make sure your mascara does not run. No, even those tiny details, no, you have to think about and you have to prepare. If you're in an area that is too hot, especially for the men, and you know that you sweat a lot, you have to think about that, no? Because your audience can nitpick and look at things that you won't think about. But in this environment, that's gone. No, we won't see the we won't see the whole body. So maybe there may be cases that I will not catch, like mannerisms that I will not catch. But we'll figure it out. Right. So, and sometimes even just the very mention of your name already commands respect. If you are well known in your church, if you have a good reputation, right? Or if you are an expert on a specific topic, even just your name, just the mention of your name can already command respect. So as Christians, anyway, we are ambassadors, right, for Christ. So we have to make sure that we are blameless. So even those things will help for you to be an effective speaker. Second, and I don't see my computer's time, so you have to tell me via chat, okay, if it's time. We end at 5:50. Yeah, so just let me know. Hey, second principle, basic principle. Okay, things that you always need to keep in mind. You have a message to deliver. If you don't believe in the message that you're delivering, how can you be effective? If you yourself, sorry about that. If you yourself is not convinced of what you want people to be convinced of, how can you do that? Right? So you have a message to deliver. One key thing when you're preparing for your speeches, or one important ingredient is you choose the right topic. Okay? That's the first thing you need to do. Choose the right topic. Okay? And then you have to know what the purpose is. Yeah? What is your purpose? Why are you speaking? What is the desired response for this particular speech? Yeah? And here, the word consumed, I told you we will be encountering this and talking about it. You have to be consumed with your message. You don't just know that you have a message to deliver, but you really have to have like a sense of urgency, kind of, for the message. You know the importance of the message. You know that there's a need for your message. So you want to be as effective as possible. So that the message will come across clearly and will actually get the desired response. Okay? Another key, basic principle for being an effective speaker is that you are flexible. No? How can you be flexible? Can you give me an example? Who have I not called yet? Aya, have I called you already? Maybe, I think not. Are you able to speak, Aya? Or is your microphone not working? Okay, okay. But hopefully you'll get that resolved later, because you really have to have the ability to speak. Technically, have the ability to speak. Who else? Have I called you yet, Faith? Oh, Steph, are you able to speak at this time? Yeah, okay, thank you. So how can you give me a specific example of how you can be flexible when you're speaking?
Sometimes po, like, may mga circumstances na
You're I can't hear you clearly. Can you speak louder?
sometimes
There, thank you.
may mga circumstances na like may nasisiraan ng speaker, ng microphone, like that. You have to sometimes minsan gamitin mo yung voice mo. Minsan kung ikaw is you have a small voice or hindi masyadong malakas, so kailangan mo ng speaker, then nasira. So you have to adjust your voice.
Right. Yes, thank you. Yeah, sometimes you can't control your environment. But if how do you make sure that you are prepared for that? You know the setting. Ask if you're asked by a church to be a speaker and you are going to be using a PowerPoint, for example, to present. You can check with the church. Do you have a way to project? I'm going to be using PowerPoint. Do you need me to bring a laptop? If not, then you have to adjust, right? if you really still want to have visuals, then you might have to bring like flashcards or something, right? Or you may have to rethink your strategy for delivering your message without visuals, no? Or suddenly, as Steph said, no, you have a microphone, but there's a brownout, or the speakers suddenly get broken. So you have to be able to, in the middle of your speech, you have to be able to adjust and make your voice louder. No? Another way is when you are delivering your speech, you look at the expressions of your audience, of your listeners. No? And if you see them making faces like, oh, or I don't think so, like that, no? You can gauge how they are receiving your message. And maybe you can adjust. Some pastors, I know, if they feel that their audience is getting sleepy, they pound on the pulpit. Yeah? La la la, like that. Or shout. I don't know if that's effective or not. But you have to do something. You have to be flexible. If immediately you see that you're not getting the desired response even while you're speaking, then maybe you should change the way that you speak or do something to get their attention again. Okay? Next. Number 4. Well, we talked about this already, right? I said even from point number 1, it's very important for you to choose the right topic. Okay? Not just in terms of your level of interest in a particular topic, but also the appropriateness, the relevance of your topic to your audience. There will be times when we actually won't know who our audience or who our listeners are, right? If you're invited to be a speaker for a youth camp, then automatically you have an idea, right? Because you know youth equals young people normally, right? So you will already think of topics that will be relevant to young people. Of course, you have to take into consideration the theme of an event. So you have to think about, if this is the theme, how do you make that theme relevant to young people? If you are in, when we do storytelling, there will be stories that you will have to tell to young people. Sorry, not young people, young children, kinder age. And then there will be stories that you have to tell to adults. And there will be stories that you have to tell to preteens, so intermediate age, older kids. Yeah. So you have to take into consideration those things. But do not forget that still the topic should be something that you believe in. The message should be something that you really want to communicate. Yes? Okay. And then number 5, you already talked about that. No, that's the heart. That's the heart of of what we're talking about. Okay, number 6. So you have a topic. Yes, you know the purpose of your speech. Yes, you believe in the topic. Yes, the topic is relevant. It's appropriate. How do you deliver it? What's the flow? Right? Where do you start? Do you want to like start with the end and then go backwards? Do you want to start soft, mildly, and then build? No? What information should you include? How do you organize that information? And that's why you're asked to have an outline for your speeches, no? So that you are able to organize the flow of your speech properly. And actually, you can use your outlines as your notes, right? Okay. Other important things. The language, the words that you use. No? Use the thesaurus. Even if you just have if you already have one word in mind, maybe there are better words that will actually convey your thoughts better. That will give you a way to color, no? Color your speech, color your words. Make your speech more vivid. Like, for example, the word cry. I want to use, I don't know if, will you be able to write? Okay, let's try this. Are you seeing a whiteboard? Can you try writing on the board? I'm not sure if you have permission. Let me just double check. No, are you trying? You don't have to like write using a pen. You can choose text and then type something. Yeah, okay, who's that? Type your name so I know who is able to write. Okay, Vince. So you're able to write on this whiteboard. Okay. Write words without repeating, no? That is synonymous to what I typed. Can you see what I typed? Okay. So anybody just write on the board words that are synonymous to the word cry. Like I said, you don't have to like use a pen. No, you can click on text and then type. Or if you want to use your finger, if you have a touch screen, you can do so also. Cry. Okay. From Aya. Yes. Shout can also be a synonym for cry, right? What is that? It's getting, okay. Yes. Weep. Yeah. What else? Come on, come on, come on, quickly. Yeah? Sob is another synonym for cry. Yes? And then cry as in shout. It can also be I don't see anybody else writing on the board. Are you just shy, or you can't write on the board? Or all the words that you think of are already on the board? Yeah. Right? Okay. Okay. Lament. Yes. Snivel. Yeah. See, just for one word. Yes. No? Wail. And you see how the color of the word changes? Not literally, but the color of the word changes. Thank you. Yeah. Scream. If you use a different word, yeah, wail has a different color versus the word sob. Yeah. And if you chose the right words without even like being too overly dramatic with the way that you speak, the words will already paint a picture in the minds of your audience, of your listeners. Yeah. So use a thesaurus. Look for other options for the word that you're thinking of, because maybe a different word will capture your thoughts better. Okay. Next. And the last basic principle for an effective speaker, no? Or for being an effective speaker. Keeps it free from distracting elements. Michelle, are you able to speak? Can you let me know, or can you give us an example of what are distracting elements?
Siguro ma'am, yung ano po, yung habang nag-speak ka tapos may maingay po or
Okay.
may bata na umiiyak po.
Okay, especially in our, thank you, especially in our environment, no? Sometimes you don't have control over that, but as much as you can control background sounds, especially during your speech, please do so. Yeah? If you have to put your cats inside the bathroom and shut the door so that they don't get out and distract you, of course, that's just a joke. But I don't know if you heard, my cat actually meowed. Anyway, yeah. What else? Faith. Another example of a distracting element.
Sometimes po yung outline itself po.
Okay. How can that be a distraction?
Sometimes unorganized, or more often na dun ka nakatingin sa outline mo instead of expressing it to your audience.
Okay. Yes. It's both a distraction to you, thank you, Faith, both a distraction to you as a speaker and also to the audience, because they will get distracted after you looked at your notes the 100th time or whatever. Yeah. And then, of course, the other common distractions would be your fillers. And then this is what happened. And then la 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 la. Yeah. So your fillers and unnecessary movements, fidgeting. Okay. We'll talk more about see, I did that. We'll talk more about other distracting elements. We'll continue on Friday. You don't have speeches this Friday yet. Your first speech will be next Friday. And if you have questions, email, message, chat in our classroom. And hopefully you'll be able to get your syllabi either electronically or as a hard copy. Yes, thank you, Philip. Okay, so stay tuned. No, I think our time on Friday will be moved to 9 a.m. So just stay tuned and let me know if any of you have conflict with a 9 a.m. schedule on Friday. Not here, not in this chat, because we're preparing to leave the room now. But send me an email or a message if absolutely you have a conflict if we're moving the class time on Fridays to 9 a.m. Okay? And then just watch out for announcements. All right. Thank you. Any questions? Just message, email, text. See you in chapel. Bye.